Hey everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. Well, hello everybody. I know everyone missed me so much yesterday. I'm so sure. We had Martin Luther King and I had some people over and things. It just was a busy day, so I couldn't get a video out. But it's a good day. We've got a lot to talk about since we missed a full weekend. Didn't do anything over Sunday, obviously, and then yesterday. And we have a weekly close to talk about. We have some good things to talk about. So, but yeah, today was good. Had a good conversation with the pros this morning, which we always do. And then I went and went up the stairs for an hour. That is a good workout. If you ever need to get a good workout, go doing the stair stepper for an hour. So after that, ready to rock and roll this afternoon. So. One other thing, somebody had asked me a question and wanted some one-on-one time with me. I charge $1,000 an hour for just one-on-one time, just because my life is extremely busy and my free time is very precious to me. And you know what? I have a sweet life. I've got, I trade for a living, and the time I spend, talking to people and doing business meetings and whatever, I try to limit. So. It's nothing personal. It's meant to be a little high, but people pay it, and I do it when people want to. But just so you know. All right, let's get into Bitcoin. First of all, we have been talking about how Bitcoin is slowing down on this leg up. We have accelerated exponentially. Our percent gains were doubling. We were at less than 1%. Then we had a 1.5. Then we had a 3. Then a 5. Then just over 5, close to 6, and then back to 5. And then we finally got our first candle that was red. So this candle formation is called a hanging man, and it is a reversal candle at the top of a trend. So this is kind of my signal that we are cooling off. And you can see the past few days that yes, they're green, but there's nothing even close to the momentum we were seeing before. And so I am bracing myself and the pro channel for a pullback of some kind. We are looking for that. This was a 1.5% day. Today's still, we have 3 hours left. We're barely green at 0.64%. And amazing to some of you, but where did we find our resistance? We spiked up to our line. These things, we draw them, and people make fun of technical analysts for their magic lines that they think dictate a bunch of stuff. Well, when I'm drawing lines on my chart, I'm using them in my analysis and in my trading. And on the pro channel, I'm actually making trades. So you can see every single trade I have made this year. And it's unbelievable. Like the entry points that we have nailed is pretty awesome. You should definitely join us. But anyway, we started this line. We drew it all the way back in June and July. We drew this way back, and we have been watching this level. And it is a significant pivot level, and this defined our trading range for a very, very long time. And when FTX came out, we just dropped out. we struggled down here. We did find some critical points of support. This line is probably no longer, I do not see us needing this line anymore. So I'm going to remove it. We use this line as our pivot point around our, we had oscillated here. It created a move from the downside to the upside that was kind of parroting each other. And then we kind of oscillated a little bit more until we got above it. I don't necessarily think this will come into play. We will redraw it if we need it. And then our rising support, I'm going to leave that one just so we can see how things play out. But we have a couple of critical lines that have been going on for more than half a year. And we've been watching these levels, watching the range, and we are again touching it, and I expect a rejection. This is where I'm betting we reject. What happens next? We have to come down at some point. We have to come down and find support somewhere. It doesn't have to be strong. I mean, we just need a couple of red days to say, okay, the bulls had their run. The bulls gained strength. The bulls accelerated their strength. The bulls are losing strength. Now it's time for the bears to show what they've got. It is very possible that the bears will actually be weak. Who knows, if we come down and we drop to only maybe 20,500 or maybe 20,000, that would be pretty weak, extremely weak. The main goal is we do not want to drop below our midpoint, the midpoint of this move, and I will show you exactly where that is. Right now, we pretty much started our move right here. It was this bullish engulfing candle right at the bottom. So this is the beginning of our move. So far, the top of our move is probably our trading range, because this is where we either will reject or already have rejected. And so the advantage of this little tool is that it has these arrows in it that kind of show where it's the midpoint of this thing. So this arrow right here represents the midpoint. The midpoint is currently at 18,900. So in other words, if we drop to our bottom of our trading range and fall through, this is going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. We want to stay in the upper half of this move, and our trading range is the move. Because we've blown through this so powerfully, and now we've got our 50 rising up. So our 50, if I get in here, I've covered it with this line because I was projecting where the 50 will go. So far, we're tracking it pretty well. But our 50 is right here. It is at 17,382. Yeah, 17,382 is our 50, and it's rising fast. Before you know it, we're going to have a cross of our 50 and our 100, and man, can I tell you how bullish that would be. Yeah, I mean, this would be unbelievable. And then if the 50 continues to accelerate, we're going to have a golden cross, and the golden cross will happen right at least before February 9th. We have 3 weeks before we could actually see a golden cross. Like this market is changing, completely changing. So I'm expecting a cool down. I'm extremely bearish on Bitcoin. That probably sounds really strange to hear from my mouth because I've been bullish nonstop. But we have gone up amazingly fast. Things are hitting the upper side of our range. I just give it such a low percentage that we would just, okay, let's just keep going. If so, I would be shorting the crap out of it up here. A lot of people are watching 25,000. And so even if we decided to just, all right, we're going to bulldoze ahead and hit 25,000, I would be putting in a massive short right here. But on the flip side, what this could do as well is we could have a decent move. This would be probably, if we hit this line, it'll take a week. I mean, we're going to see some downside before we move on. This could be a pretty slow meltdown. It could happen suddenly, though. I mean, it usually goes down faster than it goes up. But if we find support off of this line, we're going to pretty much have it in the bag that our bear market is over and we're ready to move on. If we find support at the 200 moving average or higher, it's going to be unreal. Like the strength of the market is going to be very, very defined. It's very possible that we have a bunch of institutional investors, any kind of smart money, that is looking for an opportunity to get in. I think smart money pushed us up. This looked very extreme. This was a pretty strong unilateral move. The reason you can tell is because our RSI is just unbelievably high. So things really are hot. But I think the people that are interested in getting in, that have any kind of patience or are pretty decent traders, they are waiting for a pullback just like I am. And it is possible that we don't get much of a pullback. It might be that the first sign of red, the whales are like, we're in, this is our big chance, we're getting in, and they just push it right back up. Like this could easily happen. And so I'm going to be a little quick on the trigger to get into a long position. The alt positions that I've taken, I pulled right around here. So they are, a good percentage of them are about to double. From an underlying standpoint, of course, these are all anywhere from 20 to 200 X's, which is so sweet. But anyway, they are moving really well in the right direction. But I am fully expecting a pull down. One thing that you can also see, and this is how I'm defining a pullback, because minor or major, one thing has to change. Do you notice the tails on these little candles here? This right here was the last time that we had a lower low on a daily candle. The low on this candle is higher. The low on this candle is higher, 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 all the way up. Even though we had a red day, our next day's low was still higher than this red day. And today, in 3 hours, it is probably a pretty good probability that our low is still higher again. And what I'm waiting for is the first day that we put in a lower low than the prior day. This will kind of say, okay, bears are finally getting a chance. And then what does that look like? If bears are super weak, we might get long tails and we'll just pop back up. But we will have to come down a little bit. There's going to have to be some kind of consolidation here. Or it could be a large body. Like any of this could happen. Whales are in the business of making money, and just as emotional as it was for people when they pushed it this high, they have the ability to push it exactly down and try to freak people out. And so this is what I am preparing for. I'm preparing for either scenario. I shorted at the 200 because I thought this was an unbelievable move, and I'm upside down on my short, but all my long alts are really high, which is cool. So I'm totally in a good spot, but I will close my short depending on how the red side works. If we make it back down to the 200 and break even, that's great. If we do hit our support lines down here, then that's profitable, and I'm just going to play this the best that I can. But there is definitely a change in sentiment happening, a change in movement. At the end of the day, we will kind of see how we are. If I zoom in and go to the 4-hour chart, this is part of the reason why I'm a little bit bearish. So this morning we were kind of talking, I was talking to the pro channel about how we sort of had a bull flag, and then we broke it and found support, and then we've been moving higher. But these bull moves are completely deflated. There's not a lot of movement here because, I mean, you compare that to the prior moves that we've seen, this is pretty weak. So we're running out of steam on the bull side. But because of these extra candles, so now there's been more 4-hour periods, and you can kind of see what's going on a little bit clearer. What we're doing is we're creating this scenario. It's no longer probably the best fit for this. The lines to fit this scenario are probably not as good as a bull flag. It looks to be an ascending channel. And the majority of these break to the downside. And so look at this. Right here, you can feel a tangible slope to the downside. And then we break to the upside. So here's the bull move. This is a bear move for sure. This is a bull move. And look at, we're sloping down. Bear move. Now we've got a bull move. And we have a tiny slope down for a bear move. And then we have a massive bull move. The bear move, until we see another flag pole of some kind, until we see a move up, we're kind of, locked into seeing what the bear move is. Well, bear and bull, we have created a weak bull move. So after this candle, we have struggled to gain more ground. And so I'm watching this channel very, very closely. The bottom of the channel being the 20-day moving average. If we get a close below the 20, it is likely, and this is on the 4-hour channel, the 4-hour chart, we will finally see our bear move if we finally get a close below this 20. So that's kind of what I've been looking for. It's very subtle. If you just listen to news or you listen to these other YouTubers, they're like, oh, we're slowly climbing up. Like this is all momentum. This is all progress. I don't believe it. I believe that we have to come back and find support. We've moved so strongly, which is really awesome. I would take this move any day, but in order to continue a move like this, you have to have a cooling off period and you have to give the bears a chance to show that they're weaker than the bulls. So you give those bears a good chance, and it comes down to this 200-day moving average or anywhere along our lines here, and we've done it. We've established a super low. We've muscled our way high, and our next low is much higher. That's a bullish momentum move. This is exactly what we're wanting to see. And moving down to here is entry city in my mind. So I feel like this was our most recent lower high, and this blows that out of the water. If we close before the FTX drop was at 21,300. We're sitting at 21,340 right now. If we close an inch above this, there will be no mistake that there's a change in momentum. But once a higher high is in place, you do need to establish a higher low. There's an argument to be made that we did do it here, but we need an actual low, like something where we pull back and give the bears a fair shot at pushing us down again. And so I'm waiting. I'm expecting us to be in this range in the next week or so. So this is really kind of where I'm watching closely. But in the meantime, this has been an awesome move and super profitable. So you might be interested in joining us over on the Pro channel and seeing how we're navigating all of these things. The thing we need to talk about is the weekly, because the weekly closed, and this is our first video since our weekly closed to really talk about that. So this is a completely different chart. I'm going to remove our volume because that's not going to matter. We closed an RSI above 50. 1 week. So a week ago, we had an RSI of 36, and really oversold is below 30. So we've been ranging between 37. Our high was almost 40. We've been between 40 and 30 for months, and anything below 50 trends down. If you can get to 50 or above 50, you are trending up. I don't like, I like to wait for like a 55 because that's a little bit past the midpoint, and it kind of shows a little bit of strength going into the upside. But this weekly close is unbelievably bullish. This is super great. We crossed our midpoint. We crossed our resistance that at 18,800 or 18,900. This was major resistance. And I really was wondering if we were going to cross this because we crossed this so early and then went sideways for 3 days at the top, and we managed to stay up here. So whoever, the emotions behind this move have kept us well above our midpoint. This is a complete change. This is this move here, in my mind, puts the nail in the coffin of the bear market. I don't see us moving any lower than this. If we do anything, we would come back to this point here, and I just don't even think we'd even touch the middle of our falling wedge. So with that, the ultimate move will be outside of this falling wedge. The soonest we can get there is maybe, if we went sideways, it could be 3 weeks away, something like that. 3 weeks from now, what did we just say happens in 3 weeks? The golden cross on the daily. So this whole market is going to be a completely different animal. And this entire time, I've been saying that we will likely get too excited. There are so many people watching this, and there are so many long-term holders that people are going to be panic buying. And I think we're going to do exactly what we did in 2019. And once we start moving, we're going to start moving all the way up, and we're probably going to get too overbought. I don't know, on the daily, we've done this all in one shot without a break. So I'm looking for the break. But the second we get the smallest little break, whether it's small or big, because of this weekly close, I'm looking for long entries like crazy. So I'm going to resolve my short whenever we see this weakness, and whenever it comes, whatever it looks like, that is going to be my personal sweet spot here. So very, very, very exciting. This is completely changing the direction of our moves. So we have the 50-month moving average here. Actually, I'll pull up this one here so we have more information. We never dropped to the 100-month. That would be for another horrible year. I just don't see that happening. And we are definitely very, very much above our midpoint. You see this thick yellow line? This was our prior all-time high. So this marked our high back in 2017. This is the first week that we have recrossed above that. That is likely sustainable. So it'd be really nice to get above this level and stay there. So lots of just amazing things. As far as the larger time frames, this is looking amazing. We're only halfway through the month, so there's not much to see. I know on the social media people have been talking about this morning star formation, but we're 14 days away. we can't be putting this in the books yet. We have 14 days to see whether we do have a reversal morning star formation. But either way, this is phenomenal. This is unreal. The one thing we did talk about on the monthly was that this inverse hammer was our ticket out of here. So this inverse hammer showed up, and we were like, we're probably gonna have a green month. Didn't know we were gonna have a 30% month so far. Like this is really cool. But yeah, we pointed this one out too. Same thing right here. This was the end of the 2018 bear market. Inverse hammer, and boom, next 5 months we just went straight up. This is a very likely scenario. I'm totally expecting that. And then again at the bottom of this bear market we had this inverted hammer right here, and then we had a big bull move here. The move that we did is the equivalent of coming to the top of this. In this case, it took us 2 months to get here. We had a failed move, another attempt, and then a morning star to get us up to that level. And then we were able to kind of move on. But this would have been a pretty sweet entry point right here. Like here, we've really nailed the bottom. So in the current scenario, we have completely put in a solid move. How long will it hold? I'm not entirely sure. From a monthly standpoint, in 2 weeks, I could see us moving back to the bottoms of these or to here. All of these bottoms are below 20. This bottom is 20. So we could retreat very easily to 20 before the end of this candle is done. And then I'm expecting a move to the upside. And I know there can be some ranging, and we can kind of move along, but we are watching things with a microscope on the Pro channel. And not only are we talking about it, but we're walking the walk. You should see some of our entry points. It's pretty unbelievable. It's so cool. All right, that pretty much does it for Bitcoin. I haven't spent much time on Ethereum, but it is stronger than Bitcoin, and it is probably going to be a better trade as far as percentage gains. But I still feel like Bitcoin is driving it. If Bitcoin ever fell, Ethereum would follow it for sure. But I think that a retreat back to 1400 on Ethereum is likely. So if Bitcoin is losing steam, Ethereum's also losing steam. And if Bitcoin drops, we'll probably drop back to this line here or about 1400. I'm thinking the 200 week moving average. And then we'll be ready to springboard on to the next step. But yeah, it's going to be very cool. I will when the trade is completely done. I really wanted to show. I will show you guys some of the entry points. I don't like to show trades until they're complete because I don't want to. It's not. You haven't made any profits until you've pushed sell. You know what I mean? But SRM has been an unbelievable trade. This coin. There we hit the entry point right here. If you can imagine buying this at just over 15 cents, and I have taken profits at triple, and I still have a little left, which it is amazing. So this was on a 50x trade, and it's up almost like 10,000%. So I'm serious. If you want to kind of learn how this is done, you should definitely join us. All right, that is pretty much it for this thing. I am definitely expecting a pullback. Alts should pull back too. In fact, alts have kind of gone a little early. You can see across the board, a lot of them are starting to show a little bit more red. So you can tell that the market's getting a little jittery about this move and whether it's sustainable. And I am too. And when we get any kind of a pullback, it could be small, it could be large, but either way, at the bottom of this next curve, it's going to be entry city. So anyone who thinks they missed it or if they're late or something, you make your own decisions, but this is kind of the way I'm reading all of this. It's a lot of fun. Okay, well, thanks for joining me, and don't forget the live stream tomorrow. We'll answer questions. We can look at individual coins, whatever you guys want to do. It'd be very cool. But that's it for this. We will catch you all tomorrow. Have an awesome night. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.